Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Evans. It's so nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too. What's your name?
My name's Leanna, and I'm the speech therapist who is going to be evaluating your son.
Okay.
But before I do any formal assessment on James, I just want to do some background history on him.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have a questionnaire, and I just want you guys to answer to the best of your ability.
No problem.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, does your son currently or did he ever have a hearing loss or hearing impairment?
No. We had a full audiology evaluation, and last month, I believe, and everything checked out. It came out okay. We're normal.
Okay. Also, did he ever have or does he currently have ear infections, chronic ear infections?
I mean, he had it when he was younger, like around maybe 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He had a constant ear infection, but he didn't respond well to the treatment that they gave him, which is antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, they put some tubes in his ears that fell out a couple months later.
Okay. And now getting back to how he behaves today.
Okay.
Do you find that he sometimes doesn't pay much attention to detail?
Yeah, sometimes it seems like he isn't paying attention to the smaller things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, for example, if we ask him to feed the dog, he'll just refill the food bowl, even if the water bowl is empty as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I can think of that he didn't pay much attention to detail.
Do you often find James like constantly asking "huh" or "what" after you say things to him, even if you've made it very clear, very specific?
I would say that he does that sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay. Would you say that if you're in another room and you call for him, is it hard for him to determine where you're calling him from?
Yeah, there's this one instance where I was in my room and he was in the kitchen, and I called him to me, and he went to the bathroom instead.
Oh, okay. And then in your opinion, do you think he has a short attention span?
A short attention span? Possibly. There was one instance where James was brushing his teeth, and this was in the morning, and his mom was preparing breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother called him to eat breakfast, but instead of finishing brushing his teeth, he came and sat around the table with toothpaste all over his face.
Okay, so in the same token, would you say he's good at completing his daily routines?
He needs a lot of reminding of what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same routines every day, and every day he seems to forget what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes have to tell him 3 times to brush his hair before it clicks in his head that he has to brush his hair.
Mm-hmm. And then when you're speaking to him, or if someone's speaking to him, does he have issues identifying and differentiating between words that may sound similar?
Yeah, around Christmas time, I believe, we were at a holiday party, and we told him to very carefully take the toy to the boy.
Mm-hmm.
But he just stood there staring at me as if I was talking to him in a different language. He couldn't process what I was saying to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the only instance that we had.
Got it. So would you say it takes him a long time to process what you're saying?
Yeah, like I would say when I'm talking to him, I try to delay or prolong my speech.
Mm-hmm.
So I would draw words out so that it gives him time for his brain to process what's being said to him.
Okay, that's good. That's a good technique. And then the last question, is he good at following directions that you give to him?
Alright, so there's one instance where I was eating and I forgot to take up a fork, and I asked James to do it for me, but instead of bringing me a fork, he brought me a knife.
Okay.
So that was another issue, which was kind of embarrassing that I asked him to do something and he didn't do it.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for participating in the questionnaire today. I'm going to take everything you said into consideration when I'm assessing your son, and I'll let you know what I find.
Do you have a particular time frame as to when you'll be finished?
With what?
With the assessment.
His assessment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, his assessment might take about 15 to 20 minutes, but then we're going to have some other like psychological testing done and intelligence testing done, so we cover all aspects.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm sure my wife would appreciate it.
It was lovely to meet you, Mrs. Evans.
All right. Take care.